No, it was, then it became two.
Yeah.
So I get the first one over there,
Yeah.
and I get back, I sat for 3 hours.
Oh, geez.
The line broke down.
Yeah.
And then they had issues inside, they couldn't keep up with the flow of green beans coming in on the inside. So I think I got home at 1:30 or 2 that morning.
Yeah. That reminds me of one time when I was farming, I had a little wheat in my overhead bin, and so I says to the Fred Bullholz at the elevator, I said, "Can I take that truck home and load it?" And he goes, "With wheat, and then you can take it in?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "But," and so I walked over to it, and I hit the side of it. I said, "It's full." He goes, "Yeah, when you come back from Manel Milling, you can take it home and fill it." So I jumped in it, I run up to Manel Milling, and I got up there, and there was nobody in line. I mean, and that's amazing to get up there and there's nobody in line. So I just pulled right through, turned around, come right back, and I said, "You need another one hauled because there's nobody there?" And he goes, "Yeah." He says, "Can you wait that long with yours?" And I said, "Yeah, there's nobody there. If you want another one hauled, now's the time to do it." I got up there and there was like 60 trucks ahead of me. They loaded up in that hour and a half I was gone. Holy crap, I sat there again about 2 in the morning when I got out of there.
Recorder's on? Call a meeting to order at 9:02 a.m. Let's open with a pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How about some budget adjustments?
All right. Since it's a big item on the agenda here, I'm not ready.
You what?
I'm after it myself.
You're doing what my wife does.
Yeah, talk to yourself.
She talks to herself, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to answer. No, are you really talking to me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, answer. Well,
Yeah, there you go.
then I look at it and say, "Are you talking?" No. It gets rather confusing.
Yeah. There's a bill right there, so just okay that right away. BCMH. What's BCMH?
Don't know. Why don't we take a look and see?
Okay, we can do that.
Since we do have time today.
Ohio Department of Health.
Is that, where do we pay for that, medication?
Yeah, I think it is. Yep, there's all those names there, yep. Okay.
There was, when I went through bills yesterday afternoon, there was one, indigent defense.
Okay.
Checked it pretty thoroughly, and
Okay.
it was,
Yeah, good. That was, the other day, I had quite a number of them there.
yeah. Well, we up at the top. Oh, maybe there isn't any. Yesterday afternoon, there were no budget adjustments.
Well,
Are there any, Manuel? Okay. Let the record reflect that there were no budget adjustments.
and there's the then and
So,
now.
for resolution A, just note, do the title for budget adjustments, but just note that there were no budget adjustments.
Okay.
Okay, anybody want to see any of them?
I looked at them, I didn't see anything.
There wasn't anything unusual. So would there be a motion to approve then and now?
I will make that motion.
I will second.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none,
Yes.
Glenn Miller,
Yes,
Tom Potter.
Yes.
this resolution is approved. You know, top of your head, do you know what the expense line is that we're using for COVID?
No.
I thought for sure, as many times as you've ever said.
I know. Anymore, it's just like blah, 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 blah.
I know. Okay, well, since we're not in any real hurry, I had, originally, for Defiance County had it set up for 11:15, because they were going to be done the session at 11.
Yeah.
Then, their Board of Elections wanted to come in and talk to them, so they got pushed back a little bit.
Well, I can kind of report stuff about CCNO.
Okay, we've got, we have resolution C, which is setting up the new account line for, this stuff coming at all.
That's the,
Yeah. Yeah, resolution C, which is in the matter of new account line created for Lady Justice expenses. Would there be a motion?
I will make that motion.
I would second that motion.
Okay, for, discussion, did Kevin
Kevin just said to put that number in there and he'll then create a, that's the fund number, I guess.
okay, he's created, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Once that's approved, then he'll create the,
Then he'll create the account.
yeah.
Okay. The Board of Henry County Commissioners, we will be approving creating of a new fund line 4110, which, as Anna explained, will, then the account will be set up under that. In Jeff, the previous accounting system that we had,
You couldn't do that.
we had to find an account that hadn't been used for eons, and then we would reuse it, yeah, which is, this kind of system, you'll notice the numbers will start out with fund and work down through, follows the same, numbering system that the city of Napoleon used.
Okay.
Because it would be, you'd start out with your fund, and then it would start breaking down through. So we have, that system that, was within a year or two, maybe 2 years after I became commissioner,
That's what we put it
we
in.
bought,
Yeah.
and,
Took a long time to get her set up.
the previous one was when Juden Hoops was on it.
Yeah.
So it had been around quite a while, and there was no flexibility.
Gotcha.
And, this can adapt to the way we do business. We can set up accounts so we can track, single accounts real easy. Like this, we pass a resolution and set up another account with expense to follow, specific. So,
Yeah.
in 10 years, commissioner or somebody wants to know, well, how much did, the repair of Lady Justice come? Well, here's the number.
Yep, right there.
Yeah. It was not cheap.
No, this whole thing.
When it was on, I think, just the software alone was $240,000. And then added another $70,000 for the data storage drives.
And the setup took a long time till they they had a train on it
It just took a long time to get the chart account set up. And then, we only converted over a certain amount of data, a number of years, I think it was 3 years.
it took, that's where I was getting at. It took
That was fairly.
so we were into it completely, yeah, it took a while.
To do that. But, now we have generally, looking back, we probably have more than enough years for cover. Look at, otherwise, you have to dig through the archives there, stuff.
But I think the big advantage for this office was when Lisa resigned and we hired Christie, she had experience in it because she had worked at Fulton County and knew the system, and that really.
And that was also one of the reasons Kevin liked the software, because Brett was using it, Brett Cole.
In
Fulton County.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, Anna?
Jeff Myers?
Yes.
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 This resolution is approved. Okay, Bob, did you want to update us?
Yeah. First thing I can tell you is that yesterday they discussed a criminal justice, some kind of a grant, and it had to do with COVID, and it probably came from the CARES dollars. But what it amounted to was if you kept prisoners in your local jail for a longer period of time because they couldn't be taken to a prison because of COVID, they shut everything shut down for a while, then you got reimbursed for those days, and we had to get the information from the jail and from the sheriff, and then submit it in this grant. Well, they started talking about it yesterday, and I thought, well, and then they said, well, one of the other sheriffs tried to submit it, and down there at wherever it comes from, criminal justice system, said, no, it's got to be done by the commissioner's office because they take care of the money. So he said, oh, you commissioners on here, make sure you get that done. So I made a note, got a call, so I called the sheriff this morning, and when I got in here, he goes, Tracy did that. He goes, it's done already. Tracy submitted it July the 6th. We're all done. So that's a good thing, and we will get some money back. I don't know how much or what it amounts to, but.
I heard Tracy talking about doing that, because he said one morning he would say, okay, tomorrow morning I'm gonna come in early and finish that grant up, so it's done and out of the way.
Yeah, he did, and that was good, and I thanked him today, because I was supposed to do that, nope, got it done, so. The capital projects, one of the big projects they're gonna do over there is with the video arraignments. They're doing so many video arraignments now, which has saved us 60,000 miles this year on our bus for not taking people to court, which is a good thing, because every 3 years, that saves us the cost of a bus. So, that's a savings, but now we're gonna have to put some money into remodeling. So the area where you used to have the visitation, the one-on-one visitations, because they do not have those anymore, they're gonna decorate that area, I don't know what word to use for that, but remodel it to what they want to do to reuse it for that area. And he said it'll be much more private, and we can run a lot more video arraignments through it, because they're getting more and more of them, so. So that was one of the big things. We have one unit shut down that because of COVID right now, and I mean, they're quarantined, but no other, and I don't think he did say there was I think one guard had tested positive, but no other ones, so we're pretty good there. We are looking at hiring a consultant, for our classifications. When prisoners come in, they're classified, and then if he's a class 1 and you're a class 2, you only go with class 2 prisoners, and he goes to class 1, and I don't know what that means, but it's never been looked at for a long, long time, so he said, we're gonna redo the reclassification. He said, I'm gonna hire this consultant to make sure he's from the Ohio prisons, something or another, and he said, this is the guy that they hire, so he's somebody that'll know what they're doing, so that's a good deal. We got a new system over there for doing the rounds, for the guards to do the rounds. They used to have to walk around and look in each cell every half hour, and then they had to write it on a piece of paper and keep a paper log. We put a new system in, I think it's called RFID system, and he runs through that so fast, and I couldn't write that fast, but anyhow, the system now, every guard carries a little, about the size of a cell phone, Yeah, he walks up here and just reads it.
Mhm.
Well, they got it operational, and they found out that there was a prison in, or a jail in Vermont or someplace that had a 99.6% success rate with that. That was the highest, and that this company said that's the highest. He said, if you can get anywhere near that, you're doing good. Ours is 99.9.
Wow.
He said, we're the highest in the nation for using that monitoring system, so, and it not only protects the prisoners, but it protects the guards, because now the guard knows what he has to do. It's easy enough. He can even take, if this, like a cell phone, if the prisoner's doing something stupid inside that cell and he can look through the window, he can take pictures of it and run a film on it, and then he's got proof, you know, what he was doing, if he's tearing stuff up or acting stupid or whatever, so. It's pretty neat system.
Yeah, that RFID is a chip that, you also find them in a lot of, things that you buy.
Oh, okay.
Walmart, these big box stores are big on this stuff because they can track.
Where is
They can track the inventory with these RFIDs. They'll just read them. They'll have readers throughout the facility.
Okay.
But they can also, if you pick up one of those items, they can track you around the store.
Yeah.
To see, okay, you went in, you picked up this certain thing, now we went over here.
Yeah.
And see.
And maybe at the end of the day, they can look and say, well, that one didn't get checked, that one never got paid for. So either he stole it, or it's laying in the store someplace.
Yeah. So it's a tried and true system.
Yeah.
Good.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And when he told us about it, you know, what it was gonna cost, and we said, oh, yeah, because, some of the guys were, you know, saying, yeah, I made my rounds, and they'd sit there and write the logs out. He goes, now they gotta get up and do it. He goes, that also protects them, because you say, oh, yeah, I looked at everybody's okay, and then you go back an hour later, and the guy's dead, and you cinched that round and didn't go, uh-oh, you didn't watch him, so.
Yeah, it, depends on how you look at this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, oh, no, it's another thing they're trying,
Yeah.
da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Well, also
It covers you, it covers you.
Covered.
Yeah. And you don't have to do a lot of writing. He said just the time that saves the guards from doing that, you know, they can be supervising and watching instead of having their head down in the book all the time, so. So it was a good system. And then we rebuilt beds, and so we have 37 beds again, because I didn't come. That was a long discussion, but, and now we're gonna start up a committee, because of that, in Fulton County, chose to also get a memorandum of understanding and take 3 less beds for a year. Then the commissioner from Fulton County said, well, maybe we ought to get a committee together to look at this, and maybe we ought to rewrite that operating agreement every 5 years or so. And I thought, do you want to rewrite the operating agreement? Well, that way we can all change our minds on how many beds we want, because times are changing. And I thought, this has worked for 25 years, and now because you want less beds, and you and one other person wants less beds, now all of a sudden we gotta go through this, so. So when we went through that bidding, I said, well, Sheriff Miller's the president, and he said, well, we're gonna vote on this, and someone made the motion and the second, and all in favor say aye. We didn't have a discussion, because I didn't have a chance to discuss it. No, and all opposed, and so I said no real loud, and, well, I think Mike did at the same exact time, and then somebody said, because you couldn't see because the system wasn't working, you couldn't, I didn't know who said it, and Mike said, I'm the one that said it. He goes, are we gonna discuss this? And then I heard that, and I jumped in. I said, yeah, I had some discussion. So I spoke my piece, and that's when I said, I know this is too late, but I should have thought of this a lot earlier, because it's my fault. I said, but I want it known that when I asked to have this done some years back, I was told point blank, no, we can't do that, and there was no such thing as a memorandum of understanding. And I said, and now we're doing it. I said, what's fair for one should be fair for everybody. I said, we shouldn't be bending over backwards because one person wants it now. And I said, no offense against anybody that wants it, because I know I had two people there doing it. I said, but we can't just change this. And that's when Commissioner Roop said, well, maybe we ought to get an ad hoc committee, because so now I got another meeting to go to. And then that's when the commissioner from Lucas County said, well, had I been there, I wasn't at that meeting. I said, you were never at any meetings, Pete. And I meant that, because he never was at a meeting. Lucas County never showed up at a meeting until Carol Contrada showed up at the one in 2013, where she said, we're building a new jail. That's the first time I ever saw a Lucas County commissioner and I said, you never came. I was well representative, and I said, kiss my ass. That's what I said. And I kind of leaned back in my chair, and I went like this. I said, yeah, kiss my ass. He heard it. And I don't care. So.
Yeah,
So that was basically the end of the meeting. There was nothing else went on.
that was already voted on, there's really no.
Yeah, there was nothing I could do. I should have brought it up, and it was my fault. I should have brought it up earlier. But to be real honest, I never even thought about it. And then all of a sudden one day I thought, wait a minute, that's what I asked for.
Yeah, that really should have been a voice vote.
Oh, it should have been, yeah.
Or not.
Roll call vote, yeah. And it should have been discussed. Well, I told Jeff Roop one day, I said, that's the only thing that I really don't like about Zoom. Zoom meetings are nice because you can stay at home and do it, except my computer didn't work and I had to do it on my phone. But that part is great, but the part about standing around before the meeting and discussing these things and then saying, well, and I told Jeff, I said, I'd have probably thought about that if we'd have talked about it a little bit before, but, when you're doing it on a Zoom meeting, there isn't enough, I don't think there's enough good discussion. Yesterday, there couldn't be good discussion because the system, we didn't even start till 15 minutes late and then he started sending texts out. We're having technical difficulties. And we've had, I don't know how many meetings, and then all of a sudden it didn't work, so.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Oh, yeah.
And almost in that case, the meeting should have been canceled.
Really?
And rescheduled.
Yeah. Yeah. Now she said, so, one other thing, the water tower still was installed because when we went to Archibald, you remember we went over there about February, I think, and talked to this Village Archibald about, what are we going to do about this water tower? Well, then COVID hit, and Dorothy Detterling sent an email to Dennis Sullivan and said, look, once COVID hit, we didn't, they still want us to repair that water tower, and it's going to cost us a lot of money. I mean, we're talking a couple $100,000, and all we use it, the only reason we put up a water tower there at that time was for fire suppression. We could have just took water off the line as far as what we needed for fire suppression. Well, now they've come up with a new high-speed pump that you can put a tank on the ground and it'll keep up with your fire suppression.
Well, they want CCNO to fix that water tower
So
to be able to push water onto their other customers.
What's that name of that little town out there?
Evansport.
Evansport, yeah.
Yeah.
And when we went to that meeting, I said, well, you need the water tower. I said, we really don't need the water tower. And they said, yeah, but you used the water tower this whole time. And I said, yeah, and so have you, because how did Evansport get hooked into our water tower? I said, well, you use more than Evansport does. And I said, yeah, but you can charge us and Evansport to fix it. Where are we going to get the money? Who's going to reimburse us for fixing it? Well, that's what it costs you to use the water tower. I said, but you used the water tower. Yeah, but you used it more than we did, and that's where we're standing at.
Okay, so we use 60%, Archibald uses 40%.
Yeah.
That's
then maybe we gotta split it up that way. Hadn't thought of that one. Brian Davis had said, maybe we ought to put the tank in and the high pressure pump and say, we don't need the water tower, we're gonna tear it down.
So, the juvenile side doesn't need it.
No, they're on the
They're
line.
being fed right off the line.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're-
that line.
And that's from, and they're gonna put, and Archibald's gonna build another water tower. I don't know where they're gonna build one. Well, and I thought to myself, instead of building a new one, why don't you fix this one up and take that money and fix this one up so you got a good one here? Because supposedly ours backfeeds to Bridgeville too. That's what they claim, it helps somehow that helps with the pressure, if you got those towers, and I don't understand how that can possibly work.
I can't see backfeeding on a line.
I don't understand how that works unless there's another line.
If there's any buildup in the line, when you backfeed, it cleans off the stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know, they said Ridgeville uses some of that line, but see, there's one at the college too, there's a tower there.
And they don't wanna fix theirs.
They don't wanna fix theirs either, yeah, and that's even higher priced yet. So the village of Archibald has water towers out here that, I don't know in the first place why the jail build a water tower. That should, if I'm buying water from you, I don't build my own water tower. I just don't know why that even happened, and how Evansport got hooked on there. And when I asked the at that time, county commissioner from Defiance, I said, you were on that board, how did that happen? He goes, well, I don't know. And I thought, yeah, I'll bet you don't know. Don't give me that crap. You engineered that because you were gonna get something for free, and at the cost of the rest of us.
That's easy.
You can't
And this
take
guy was born and raised in Henry County.
Yeah, he's a real piece of work.
Everybody knew him in Columbus, so.
Oh, yeah, I gotta say, everybody knows him.
There was no question, he could get in to see anybody,
And to top it off,
anytime.
we were standing in church when he said that to me. He goes, I don't know how that happened. I said, come on.
Lightning strike at that moment?
Yeah, lightning should have struck.
Maybe we need to walk up to the altar.
Yeah.
And discuss this again.
Yeah, discuss this in front of the pastor. Oh, my.
Okay, anything else, Bob?
Nope, that was it. Beautiful day.
The only thing I had was a meeting yesterday with the senior center board.
Okay.
Heard the same presentation that Ben gave.
Okay.
Same thing, they're out, no objections, they're all on board with what we were thinking, after the 21st of September, could be the 1st of October before they open, so. Nobody had any complaints, so.
Okay.
And with this change, since the senior center really is under the commissioners, that it will just take a little while to kind of get worked out.
Well,
That the board is an advisory board, but it's always in our best interest to really pay attention to the advisory board.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
talented people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, unless it's going, they come in and say, well, we need to hire 5 people to do da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
well, let's look.
Yeah, we have to make our decision.
But otherwise, they're gonna help assist Penny in operation and planning and things there.
And it wouldn't have been for COVID, I think by now we'd be over that hump already, because everything would have been operating and Penny would have been coming to us for the info and or the ideas, because she's very receptive to it, to doing that, so.
Yeah. And we had heard, before this, the levy that was what we considered the building levy. We had heard pretty plainly from some of our voters that they expected us to watch closer than.
Yeah.
They weren't pleased with a few things. One of them was how the Meals on Wheels program has been a success, and like anything, we want to grow a program, but you can grow a program where you can't maintain it.
You can't.
And we were to that point where they were using all the money that was designated for Meals on Wheels, but then had to add to it out of the general operating. And, so pretty soon now their operating funds starting to go down. So, it's not, in the 10 counties in Northwest Ohio, that's in the Northwest Ohio Area Office on Aging in their outreach area. There are some counties that the senior center, they have a waiting list of people who
Want to be on Meals on Wheels, yes.
want to be on Meals on Wheels.
Yes.
They say they operate within the budget.
Within what the federal government gives them,
Yeah, and we're not, and.
We don't do
just
that.
for the record, not complaining, I think it's going, the program is going very well.
Yeah.
We've seen growth simply because of COVID. So we replaced congregate meals with either a pickup meal or a home
delivered, yeah. And in this instance, that's good because the seniors are the more vulnerable of the group of people who get this, so.
Yeah, and that was one of our priorities, to make sure our
Yeah.
seniors
Yeah.
are taken care of.
Yeah,
And like Penny said, and maybe she mentioned, is that, we know there's still some out there that aren't,
yeah,
and it's just finding them.
yeah, I know.
Finding out about them, yeah.
But I think if the, Meals on Wheels would do like some of the counties and say, no, you gotta wait until, because we don't have enough money, there'd be more congregate meals served. Because a lot of those, not all of them, but a lot of them could drive there. They gotta hurry up and go home so they can get they're uptown, they gotta hurry up and go home so they can get their Meals on Wheels delivered to them.
Yeah.
You know, and you hear that, and that just angers me when I hear it.
So they won't just drop them there, they gotta be home to get it, is that right?
Yeah, oh yeah, somebody's gotta be there to give it, you know, you gotta give it to them. Because the Meals on Wheels driver's supposed to make contact with the people, you know, when they give it to them.
Yeah, and that's one of, the Meals on Wheels program, that's one of.
Yeah, and that's a good aspect,
You're
yeah.
able to check on.
Yeah, so you're checking. I think that's a great thing. I mean, when we did Meals on Wheels at our church, I thought, that's good. That way at least you know that person's okay, and if they they might be sick that day and they have no family around, then you can help them out, you know.
Yeah, we've had instances where.
Oh, yeah.
Our drivers have had to call back and get a senior some help, which is good, if they have help.
But I know one county, I think it's Logan County. Yeah, Logan County, when I was down there, we were down there in a cabin one time, and there was a little ad in this place where we were going into, in this establishment we were going into, and it's about Meals on Wheels, so I just picked it up, threw it in the car. When I got back that night to the cabin, I read it, and their Meals on Wheels program, when they run out of the federal money, like in June, they stop. There's no more Meals on Wheels. They use it until the federal money is gone, and then it's over till the next year.
Seniors going to hibernation then, I guess?
They gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if enough drop off, then they can probably run it later in the year. But yeah, the Wheels on Wheels only works when they got the money.
We're just fortunate, I think, that because Campbell's makes donations and,
Oh, yeah.
Penny's getting its grants, it's very
Yeah,
good.
oh, yeah, we're getting, yeah. Yeah,
And it's always good to go back. We have a seat on the board of the area office on aging, so it's always good to go back. We have been very fortunate that when the area office has extra money, we get a chunk of it. Paulding County has, over the past probably 3 years, asked, I think, 3 times for additional funds for.
it's because of Mark. It's because of one of their commissioners, yeah.
Yeah, he wanted, that's, I think, the first time he asked, I said, Mark, because it came to the discussion portion of it. Are you doing this, and this?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then Billy Johnson, who is the CEO of area office, very talentedly, well-known in nationwide, dealing with the aged. She said, Mr. Commissioner, how about we meet after the meeting and we'll talk? Because he just took them blindside.
Yeah.
This was in a board meeting, and nobody had any information, so.
But
They did help him out.
in his defense, that's how you find out. That's how you find out, you know? And
But the commission, what I like about is, most of the board is made up of people of Lucas County, but there's a county representative for each of the other counties. And we get to vote when they're talking about the area office on aging. Toledo administers the Lucas County senior levy. We get to vote on how they spend their money.
They love that.
yeah.
And usually, the commissioners that sit on there usually vote yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it's fun to see the discussion started. But they had, each year, usually in September, they have a board retreat. It's one of the board members belongs to the Catawba Island Club in Port Clinton. And so we go there for like a Thursday evening and Friday. And this last year, Lou Hilker, Commissioner from Williams County, myself, and Mark Stahl from Ottawa County, were considered the rural counties. So there's very little discussion on rural county issues. And so we had kind of a roundtable discussion with the members over there and the three of us explaining issues that we have in our county. And Bill Harris, who works on and off for ABC 13 and these financial stuff, he's the chair of the board this year. And Bill's a great guy. And so he was the moderator. And then he started asking questions. He said, I haven't heard some of this stuff before. And so we were talking about issues of transportation, getting our residents to medical care. How do we do that? And other things. Even getting, in some cases, food delivered when they can't get out and get it. And so I believe we're starting to kind of crack the ability to, they're going to pay more attention to us because we have more unique needs than, the urban area that we deal with. So, you got anything?
That's it.
I've got, looking around up for this place apart.
When you lose.
Didn't I?
I can attest to that.
I was trying to find the drawings for Oakwood Plaza. The roll-up plan, as built.
Yeah.
You know, it was in the last place I looked.
Or was that just when you quit looking?
Well, I
Could have something.
Yeah, that was the last place, so I quit looking. I thought, well, I had text Eric, yesterday I found him, on Tuesday, and I was looking. Well, we have drawings on top of the one file cabinet, in there on that far wall, in that file room. Well, they weren't there, so I did start looking at the files, all the file reports that we have. So I went back here, and we have about 20 sets of plans from the 90s for the courthouse.
Oh, yeah?
And we've got a lot of stuff that, if we would have an incident where we had water in here, we would ruin a lot of stuff, and we may need to consider getting that up off the floor. But there are two drawers in the file room We have, on the west wall, have file cabinets, and then there's the file cabinets in the center. The ones that face each other, at that end, are two drawers. They're at the top of the one file cabinet. The top drawer has all the plans from Oakwood.
Okay,
Except for the Buckeye building.
okay,
And the Buckeye building's in there.
yeah, should be pretty, that should be
But,
good.
found, and there's also a set of as-built.
Okay,
So Christopher, on one of his trips to the courthouse, is going to take the as-built to Dan Jenkins and have Dan scan those.
okay,
And so we have a digital version,
yeah,
and then we'll be able to, with some of the stuff we're doing in Oakwood Plaza with the doors and things, we'll be able to take that scan and overlay stuff on it.
okay, okay.
But while I was going through,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you, why do you need it, but I understand now, okay.
yeah, and most of it was for this room.
Oh,
We were
okay,
trying to find out, there's this junction box below the desk.
Yeah.
It has electric and phone and everything in. Where's it being fed from? And I told Christopher, I said, it wouldn't surprise me if it's not fed from that wall. But it's fed back here. There's a couple, I think 3 conduits that come up.
That way.
To go up in the wall because they put power to this screen.
well, yeah, yeah, and actually, that would make the most sense, because that's the wall you're closest, because they probably had to
Yeah.
dig up the concrete and put them in, and then repatch over
Yeah.
again, yeah.
So while I was messing around, I thought, okay, I just made copies,
Of this room? Oh.
I think there's a projector, man.
Yeah, you got the whole thing here.
Wasn't there?
yeah, and it's, and it even, yeah.
But hit the button, it comes out. Never seen these?
We've never, in 7.5 years, we've never used it.
Yeah, I think one year, when I was first here, ODOT brought something that they could shoot up there, and it didn't want to work right,
We
so.
don't own a projector. Was never nothing on the ceiling, anything to,
And it was kind of like at the city building,
yeah.
okay, you do something on the back wall that's behind council, well, with the way the old desks are set up, you had to turn around and look at it.
That was the best thing, having that big TV in front of you on there.
Oh, yeah, that was, Tim Michael was on council, that's when we went through budget, that's all we used. This is just, these are just information.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
I see we had the dog warden, well, the dog warden was still there when I was here, but litter management was in here too.
Yeah, there were a lot of, there's still there's working papers in there where they were, the commissioners or whoever was working on it.
Okay.
Was trying to decide, okay, how to divide up some of this. They almost had all the offices out
Oh,
here
yeah?
looking at,
Well, really, once we get that pizza shop cleaned up, we could move. We could just about get them all out of here then, I think.
really what we would, if that ever happens,
Yeah.
would be moving out is gonna be second floor.
Yeah, yeah,
Treasurer, auditor, and recorder.
quarter, yeah.
Mhm.
The rest is all for,
Is all own mapping.
and mapping.
Where's mapping in the crowd?
When you go in, go past security, you go to the intersection of the hall,
Yeah.
you turn left.
Oh,
You go
okay.
down the hall and they're on the left. That was.
The engineer's office.
The engineer's office.
That's where Pat McCullough used to be in the front part of that office, and then Tim was in the back part. But Tim had his own office inside there.
So part of it is now, prosecutor's office uses, they have the conference room over there.
Okay.
There's some store, and some file storage. But I thought it was kind of an interesting walk back into time.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. Kind of fun to look at it, 'cause
And, we still have quite a bit of stuff around for Country View Haven.
yeah, oh, yeah. That's more history stuff now, 'cause that's going. I see where the one house is starting to be built out there.
Yeah, they have the foundations.
Mhm.
I don't think they made a whole lot of progress. Foundation's been in for quite a while.
Yeah.
For based in.
Yeah, it's been a while since I drove there too, 'cause I haven't been out to go that way when I go to CCNO, I haven't been there for a while.
Paul and I drove out through there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
They, their marriage license was in the paper a few weeks ago.
okay.
So I don't know when they're.
Which one is that then?
It's at Joe Strauss.
Oh,
And, her last name's, Dissop.
oh,
Bishop.
okay,
It depends. When I was growing up, Woodward Center was Bishop.
yeah.
Sometimes now I've heard it's Dissop. Yeah.
What was his name, the county commissioner, or the township trustee, that was the bishop, he had a stroke.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
he just passed away not too long ago.
Did he?
I think so.
I forgot, when you never thought until you lied.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
They went to our church.
Pardon?
They went to our church.
Did they?
Yeah, the kids went to St. Paul and,
Okay,
yeah.
I like Lonnie. Yeah,
So that's really all I've got, over at Defiance. Just want to take a look at their
table.
table.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
And, I asked Ryan to ask his dad if he would be interested. Ryan's dad's interested in building it for us.
oh, his dad built that one?
No, Ryan Kors, I'm sorry.
Oh, right.
I forgot
Oh,
Ryan.
okay, oh, Ryan
Everybody
Corey.
asked his dad, and his dad said he would be interested in it.
Yeah.
But I also let him know that we would talk to Gary Graber
Mhm.
and Priggy and Hammer.
Yeah.
Once we kind of have an idea.
Yeah, he does pretty good work. His dad,
Ryan said, one of the places that they buy lumber, said they have a whole bunch of cherry.
oh, yeah.
And that is such a nice wood.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful surface.
His dad remodeled my first house, his name was Vic. He was a good carpenter too. He was a good carpenter.
We have to, so we'll have to maintain social distance, but we'll also
Yeah.
have to kind of make sure we can fit the camera for Zoom
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I'm kind of curious, see what their desk is.
Yeah, just get an idea of how we wanna do it.
And as far as stuff next door progressing, we're on round 2 now with this $175 million coming
Yeah.
from,
From the
the
state.
controlling board.
Yeah,
But then round 3, that's going to come,
Yeah.
will have to come from the legislature.
yeah,
If we're gonna do some of this stuff, I said to Tracy, let's get all the preliminary stuff done. Let's get it signed off by
Get it ready.
everybody, and we have a stack of projects ready to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
So when the cash is in the bank,
yeah,
we just, okay, and have, at least at this point, prioritize in the way we think they
Yeah.
should be prioritized.
yep. The way it sounds, we might be getting our forklift pretty soon, huh? I mean, they were gonna order it?
You know, they're gonna order it.
Yeah.
I assume.
I assume it's ordered.
I'm just assuming because of what I've been reading on the emails. We didn't go back to level red, did we?
We probably will.
Oh, when is that, today?
Yeah.
Today, okay. They'll call it, every time so far she's called us, or,
Oh,
somebody.
yeah, that's right, Kristen does.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Chris
Chris,
Laughlin?
yeah.
Yeah.
We're guessing yes,
Why? Did we have some more?
because of North Crest.
Oh, because of Northwest, okay.
Mm-hmm. It just depends if we meet most of the criteria, but I think you have to meet 5 out of the 7 criteria to go red.
Yeah. I've never really sat down and read all of them. I kind of skimmed through them and I thought, well, don't tell me what I'm read.
That's, yeah, if I'm not sure, then to know where to.
Yeah.
I had, in college, had a math instructor. And in high school, I hated math. Algebra, I just couldn't. How can you take 2 letters and get a number?
Do not bring that up around my wife, because then oh my God, she can't figure that out either. Just a representation. No.
That just, I couldn't get it. Honestly, when I think it was a sophomore in high school, I could not get that, I couldn't grasp that concept.
Yeah.
And this math professor, the first one I started out with was all by the rules. You memorize all the rules.
Yeah.
No, I don't need this. So I dropped that one, and then the next semester took it with a different instructor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had, the Mad Hatter, how his hair is all. This guy's hair was combed just exactly like the Mad Hatter.
Oh yeah.
And he wasn't lying, and
Yeah.
that was just him.
Yeah.
But he said, this is a game. He said, look, a game, do you carry the rule book with you all the time?
Yeah.
In a game, if you need to check, you go back to the book to see what the rule is.
Yeah, see what the rule is.
And that's the same thing with math. All of a sudden, this thing clicked.
Yeah.
And I was even got permission to bring my Tiffany, I think she was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
To take her to some college math classes.
Well, a lot of that's what a lot of this stuff is. If you know where to look it up is the most important thing, and how to look it up, and then understand it when you read it. When you do get to find that point, you still have to understand it. But that's
I still have my one of my accounting 1, accounting 2 books, and then I kept business finance, because there's some formulas. I don't sometimes remember the formulas, so I want to figure something out.
Yeah.
I'll go grab that and look up the formula.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't remember all that stuff. You got to know but just knowing where to look it up is worth a lot.
Yeah. So when we had the printing company, I kept with me, printing company. Just in case. Anything else for us, Anna?
No.
And we really have nothing for Tuesday other than
There's nothing.
budget adjustments done now.
I just put in that packet though, from Austin, I don't remember what it's called, but the budget came in under or the quote came in under the budget, or under what they quoted for. Blah, 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 blah. Keep it all up. So that's what that's for, and there's from Austin.
Austin Cerna.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking Austin River.
Which one for Rick you got to do that? I was just saying,
Okay, that's what this is.
Yeah. I included the email in there for you.
Okay. This is the South Side Storm Sewer Improvements, is that it? It's Melita's.
Oh, okay, I'm with you, okay. Oh, it came in under the quote?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's just.
That usually don't happen.
Yeah, it's that sewer project,
Okay,
CDBG project
Okay.
in Melita.
okay.
Yeah. It was, well, it really doesn't, I'm not sure which number.
I did have, speaking of Molina, I did have one of their Board of Public Affairs, members call me and say, can you guys intervene in this Liberty going over and buying water for somebody else? And I said, got nothing to do with us. Wow.
Who called you?
A member of the DPA,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah. He's a good friend of mine. What's his name? I'll tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a savings, so far, $7,260.72.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah, there was, some,
Is it done? Because I thought they were, I don't know, they were working right on 109 there. So last time I drove there, I thought they were done there.
since the actual project cost came in less than what the contract was, there's a change order
Mhm.
for the deduct.
How often does that happen?
Yeah, that's what I said, that don't happen too often. Yeah.
How much was it reduced?
$7,200. I've seen that happen when I was on council, in Napoleon, that happened occasionally.
Pretty rare, I would think.
And we are the owners of the project. Okay. If there's nothing else for us, would there be a motion to adjourn?
We'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, Anna?
Jeff Meyer?
Yes.